What's going on, guys? It's Grant or gmeiners here. Ever since the launch of Shadowkeep and the Garden of Salvation raid, Divinity has been a staple for the DPS meta in the Destiny 2 community. For some reason, people seem to think that it is way better than it actually is. Most people still think that it increases your DPS by 30% when it's more like 8%. Here, I hit for 47 in the head without div, and with it, I hit for 5,261, which is a 30% increase. But when it comes to actually doing DPS, one of the 6 players on your team will need to run div instead of DPS weapons. In a perfect situation, your team of 6 would each be dealing the exact same amount of DPS. If we say your team is doing 100 damage per second, this means each player is responsible for 16.67 or 1/6 of the total DPS. If you remove one of those players to use Divinity, your total damage will decrease by 16.67, going from 100 damage per second to 83.33 damage per second. But by using Div, you will also increase the total DPS by 30%. This means you will be doing 1.3 times damage on the 83.33 DPS number, which comes out to 108.33 DPS or damage per second. Meaning that running div only increases your total DPS by 8.33%, not 30%. In a lot of cases, I think div is extremely useful. In GMs, Divinity is great, and same with bosses with hard to hit crit spots, but in terms of total DPS increase, I don't think div is necessarily worth it. Under the best case circumstances, you only get an 8% increase to DPS. This also decreases your total time to do damage while you wait for Divinity to get procced. Also, if any players die or run out of ammo, this also makes running Divinity pretty much useless. Divinity gets even worse in 3-man activities like dungeons, as you sacrifice 33% of your DPS for only a 30% buff. In this case, running Divinity will actually decrease your total DPS by roughly 13.33%. That is pretty much all I have for this video. If you guys do happen to have any questions, leave them down in the comments below and I can answer them. Anyway, have a good one. Peace.